I'm Lindsay Yosbeck. I'm the Green Labs coordinator at the University of Texas at Austin, as Kathleen said. And today I'm going to be talking about the circular economy for laboratories, community of practice. So listen up for this free, that's right, free resource that we have for you all. And we're really going to encourage you all to join the community of practice if you haven't already. And so I'm just going to kind of go over an overview of what's available through the community of practice and also how to navigate the community of practice. I think it takes a little bit of, getting used to navigating it. So we're just going to go over that today. All right. So what is the community of practice? Really, we're a group that's focused on lab waste reduction and diversion and sustainable purchasing. So really looking, like from cradle to grave at purchasing in the laboratory setting. It is, again, free for all I2SL members to join. And even if you're not a member of I2SL, you are still free to join. So again, we really encourage you to join this really awesome resource for free. It's an interactive site, and there's a lot on the site. Again, we're going to kind of go through all the different resources available on the site, but there's a library, there's a Q&A. We also hold different forums, so like little webinars through and working groups through the community of practice. And there's also some videos on there. Again, we'll go through all of those great things. And then most importantly, in my opinion, but maybe not in everyone's opinion, but this is also where you go to join our working group. So two of our working groups that are going to be talked about a little bit further along in this presentation, the University Alliance group and the Lab Materials Management Working Group. You have to go to the community practice to get access to join those groups. So again, really important. And I think Jonathan shared in the chat the link to the circular economy, the community of practice. So if you want, you can pull that up now and, kind of go through with me along as we go through different pages on the community of practice. Okay, so when you log on to the community of practice, or just, you don't actually have to log on to see this, but when you go to the community of practice, this is what you're gonna see. I think it's really fun. The community practice is supposed to be a community, right? So it's kind of like we have the library, the theater, the campus, and then the lab materials management, we're the co-op, right? So it's supposed to be like a little city. So fun there. But what you'll see here is that there is a login button. So you're going to want to click on that login button. And that's where you're going to go to join the community. So again, if you haven't signed up, I definitely would do that now. Free for you to join. If you already have registered, then that's where you would go to log in. Once you're logged in, you can kind of explore and look at all the different resources. I will say that there are some resources that are available even if you aren't a member, but again, in order to get all of those resources available on the site, you do need to be logged in as a member for free. So for the library, there are different sides of it. We'll look at the public library for right now, but so you can see just some of the resources we have. These are a lot of the same resources that are, put out through I2SL. So things like the Lab Savers campaign, information on that, resources, white papers, one pages, kind of guidance is a lot of what is on those public resources. So a great place to start there. Then if you go to the theater, that's where you can watch videos. So there we have Phil Talks. So Phil stands for people helping improve laboratories, but it's also named after Phil Wurzik, who was the founding president and executive director of I2SL previously. And so in honor of him and all of the work that he's done, we have these Phil Talks. So you're able to record a Phil Talk if you want, but then also watch these different, it's also like kind of a nod to TED Talks, right? So if you want to watch these videos, those are there. If you want to record one yourself, that would be even more amazing. We're always trying to find new voices and bring new people into the community and hear from, so that we're not hearing from the same people over and over. The forum recordings are also going to be found there. So the community practice holds online forums about 4 times or so a year, give or take. And all of the recordings from those forums, I think of them as like informational webinars that are a little bit more interactive. A lot of times we have things like panelist talks. Those will also be found there in the theater. Okay, now on to the forum tab. So for forum, again, like I just said, we have those community of practice forum recordings. But the thing that I think is really, really cool about the online forum is the kind of more where it says go to online forum for the member. So it's not the recordings, but it's an online discussion group, right? So if you have a question for the I2SL community of practice members, that's where you can go to ask a question. Maybe you have a question about like, hey, I'm trying to start to do animal bedding composting, or I'm trying to look at which pipette tip is the most sustainable to use in my lab. This is where we want you to go to ask those questions so that everyone in the community can join in on those discussions and help answer those questions. So when we go to the online forum, this is what you'll see. And so in here, you can see that there is a specific UAG member discussion group, and then there's also a specific lab materials management working group within here. But then you'll see there's also like the general discussion, opportunities, questions, and answers. So the three that general discussion, opportunities, questions, and answers, if you are not a part of the UAG group or the lab materials management group, you will still see those. But in order to see the UAG one and the lab materials management working group discussion boards, you'll need to be a part of those working groups. But again, totally free to join any of those groups, and we welcome you all to join those two working groups. Okay, so what we realize is that maybe people didn't see when things were being posted in these discussion forums. So this is super duper important. If you take anything away from this talk, this is what I want you to see. It's really important when you sign up to this to go to your settings and to turn on the marketing emails. Now, I know we don't like marketing emails, but these are really good ones. And what these are going to do is just email you when someone's posted in the forum. That way you don't have to go back and check in the forum, every day or something that can get really tedious. This will send you an email when someone is posting in the forum, and you can set it however you want, what kind, how often you want to get emails. Or if you want emails, like if you post something and then somebody responds back to you, if you want to get an email like that. So really important, these are originally set to be off. So make sure and go and turn them on when you sign up for the forum. All right, and then we get to the UAG campus. So Kathy's going to talk about UAG, but I just wanted to show this is where you go and all of the UAG kind of documents are going to be held. And again, in order to get access to these specific UAG ones, you need to be a member of the UAG campus. And then where I highlighted in red is where you can sign up to do that. And then same for the lab materials management co-op. This is where you would go if you want to see specifically those resources that are for the LMM group. Again, in red is where you would go to sign up for the LMM.